and run us guidance, and they didn't even have pages. So away from our time. I had a workout for today. Oh my gosh. They used to love it. Oh, yeah. You need to get like this. I don't think he's open after. I think he did like a phone call. Yeah, I know how to find it. So are we just asking the question and we go to back now?
Yes.
Are we going in order?
In order of how you're here.
So we're not necessarily asking our question.
Yes, you're asking your question.
You're just gonna just like find your name on the sheet.
Up here? There's a seat right there.
Yeah, with the water bottle.
And you also have to listen. If she somehow answers your question while answering something else, you need to think on the fly. So as, like Annabella's lucky, she knows no one's asked her question. She's going to be able to ask hers with no problem. You need to think of other questions. Like my last row back there, they might be like, oh, nuts. So listen to the interview. So if your question gets answered just in a natural way of things, you have a question ready to go. Huh? It's on the sheet. It's coming to you. Yeah, I'm smart. Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Let me get you on the smartboard. Excellent, Sarah. Maybe. Yeah, there we are. Can you hear us, Sarah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. We can hear you too. I'm just getting set up a little bit more. Thank you again for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem.
Did we just leave your screen? Or can you still?
I can see it at the bottom. Oh, there we go. I can see it.
You can see us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is 10th period English class. There they are. I'm not going to sit here the whole time. This is Sarah Beebe, a former North Olmsted graduate. She's alumni. What class did you graduate, Sarah?
2010.
2010. Wow, that's 6 years ago.
I know.
How that happened? Okay. And also a former Miss Jameson student. Man, I don't know. When was I your teacher in 2008?
Probably.
Man, that's a long.
I think 2006.
But you were a freshman and you had. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. She's one of the first students I taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So today is May 11th, 2016, and this will begin our interview. I'm going to have students come up just so you can hear their question. They'll go and sit down. You can answer it, and then I'll just keep getting them up and back and forth as you answer. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please be engaged. Annabella, go on up.
You have to sneeze, sir. See?
No, if you want to.
What is your daily routine at work?
Okay. Well, every day is completely different. I kind of never know what I'm going to walk into. We have specific, like Tuesdays, we have these meetings during the day, so I know that's what I'm going to be doing that day. But besides that, every day is completely different. Today, I had to help the assistant administrator, and then I had to do room changes. And at 2 o'clock, I have to meet with the Census Bureau. So it's a weird day. But yeah, every day is completely different.
All right, Cameron, you're up next.
Do we have to like say the truth?
No,
Okay.
you just want to make sure she hears you.
What type of education was required?
Sure. I'm a licensed social worker. So I had to get a bachelor's degree, and then I had to take a test to get my license. And then I went to grad school. You don't have to, but I did. So yeah, you need at least a bachelor's and got to take the test to get your license.
All right, awesome.
Did you like your job when you first started?
Yeah, I did. It was very different than I was used to, but everybody here is really nice. And at first it's kind of overwhelming because we have 74 residents right now.
There goes 10th period internet.
She can probably still hear us.
Oh,
Well, we had a little glitch. We lost you.
Oh, okay.
So you have 74 residents.
Yeah, so it was hard to learn everybody's names at first, but I did like the job when I started.
All right, Nathan.
Do you have any interesting stories to tell about the job?
Okay. Well, my very first day on the job, the very first resident I talked to told me that she wanted to run into traffic to kill herself. So that was my first experience here. But since then, I go and talk to her 2 or 3 times a week, and we become really close. So started off kind of scary, but it worked out.
Randy.
What kind of training or orientation did you have before you got the job?
Okay. When I started here, we have one other social worker, and she trained me, and we worked really close together. So I didn't really have a orientation period. I just kind of started.
Cool. Al, you're next.
Me?
Oh, never mind. Jasmine.
What have you learned from your job so far?
I definitely learned better, like skills talking to people I don't know, talking on the phone. I used to be really scared to talk on the phone, but now I have to all the time. So yeah, I just learned how to be patient and how to work with families, and in general, just better communication skills, because I'm pretty quiet, pretty shy, but my job requires a lot of talking, so you get used to it.
All right. Therese.
What challenges come with your job?
Okay. I guess, like I said, how it was really unpredictable. You never know what you're going to be walking into. So a lot of times it can be really challenging when you have to work with families, because we work really closely with families. Like just today, I had to call a family about a room change, and they don't want her to move. So it's a lot of just learning how to work with all different kinds of people.
Jade.
What's your favorite part of your job?
I guess my favorite part is the residents. You get really close to them. This is their house, so they're here all the time, and you get really close to the residents, and that's the best part.
Great. Gavin.
How many people do you deal with on a regular basis?
Like I said, we have 74 residents, and then we also have a lot of staff and family. So on any given day, I probably handle, 5 or 6 phone calls, and then I don't know. It's a lot of people.
Okay. Thank you. Here comes Ahmad.
What's the hardest part of your job?
For me, it's dealing with families. I like dealing with residents better than families, but I guess probably one of the hardest parts is becoming really attached to residents and people pass away, and so that's always a difficult thing to manage because it happens a lot.
Go on. Here comes out.
How was the test you did for this job? Was it hard? How do you think you did?
To the test that you had to take for your license that you mentioned.
Yeah, I took it in 2014, and it was pretty difficult. It's multiple choice, but it's a hard test to study for because it could be on anything. So really, when you study, it's probably not going to be on the test. So you just have to kind of just know general information. So it was pretty hard, but I did well. I passed. So.
Yay! Here comes off.
Have you always wanted to be a social worker?
I started off as a psychology major in college because I knew I wanted to do something with helping people because I really liked the psychology class in high school. But I changed, I think, when I was a sophomore because I realized you could do a lot more as a social worker because you have a license, and social work is so diverse. You can work with any population. So I liked that it was so diverse.
Great. Here comes Victor.
What's the most rewarding part of your job?
I guess, like I said, being close to the residents, like the resident that I am really close to, that I go visit. Just today she was telling me like she knows I'm there for her, and that I'm always looking out for her. So stuff like that doesn't happen every day, but when it does, it like makes it mean all the more that you made a difference.
Here comes Ahmed.
Would you ever want to work anywhere else but a nursing home?
I really have only ever worked in the nursing home.
Oh, okay.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I've only ever worked in nursing homes. I worked in a nursing home after college. And then when I was in grad school, I interned at a place where I had to do home visits for older people. I did not like it. So I like nursing homes. I'll probably stay in a nursing home for a while.
Gotcha. Jaina is coming next.
Why did you choose to work in a nursing home?
After high school, my friend got me a job at another nursing home, and I had never worked a nursing home before, and I loved it. I worked in a dementia unit, so I really loved the residents, and I knew that's what I wanted to do then because I was really comfortable there, and I really like working with older people.
Great. Here comes Andrew.
What surprised you about your job?
I think the thing that surprised me the most was I had never worked with people who didn't have dementia. So it was interesting that people remembered my name. Like we would have conversations and then we'd talk about them again. So that was probably the biggest change, was working with people that, grew to know me, and we had, a relationship that could last longer than, just a couple interactions.
Excellent. Here comes Matt.
Do you see yourself staying as a social worker at a nursing home, or do you want to do something really?
Yeah, I really like working at a nursing home, especially I really like working at this one compared to the one I worked at before. But I was thinking about in the fall possibly going to Tri-C part-time. They have a sign language program, so I was kind of interested in that as well. So we'll see if I do it, but.
Allie is coming next.
Why did you choose to be a social worker?
I always really liked helping people. So I think I said before, like it's such a diverse field that I knew I could change my mind if I didn't want to work in a nursing home anymore, or if I wanted to start working with, not that I want to, but kids or anything. So I knew it was a good field to get into, and you had your license, which is that's like a really good thing.
Here comes Sierra.
Have you learned anything valuable from your experiences in this field?
Yeah, I definitely learned to be. I've learned so much. I have so much patience now. You have to have patience, and I really learned how, I don't know, to problem solve more and kind of multitask, and it's just so much every day is different. So it's nice to learn a whole bunch of new skills, but definitely learn to be way more patient and understanding.
So that concludes the questions they have. I have a couple questions just to hopefully round out some of what they know about social working, and then I'll see if there's any new questions from them. I guess you get to see my hand. There you go.
Sure.
So could you explain kind of what falls underneath the social work umbrella? What are the things you're responsible for doing? I was really struck by how similar the ways you describe social working are to teaching. We're both these community helper type roles. You talk about helping people, you talk about forming relationships. That's very similar to the name thing too. You said you had to learn 74 names at once.
Yeah.
I had to learn 115. Next year, 100 and something. So that was one of the things that struck me. So, you mentioned that the lady had talked about wanting to run out into traffic. Just maybe fleshing out more some of your responsibilities and how you help your population there.
Oh, sure. Yeah. As a social worker, like we're responsible for like a lot of different things. We have to do these assessments that pop up it's every quarter, which is like every three months. And they ask questions. We have to ask them, have you, in the past 2 weeks, have you been feeling sad? How have you been sleeping? Your appetite. So we try to see like how their mood is at. And then based on that, we have a psychologist and a psychiatrist here that we can refer them to if they need more help. We also, when people come in, we have to do this meeting all about their social history. So we have to find out about them. If they want to see the foot doctor, the eye doctor, we're kind of responsible like connecting people to where they got to go. Like I said, on Tuesdays we have our meetings, which are with the social worker, the nurse, the dietitian, activities and therapy, and we kind of share each part how they're doing to see where they're at. But yeah, it's a lot of things we do, but at the same time, when the day ends, I'm kind of like, what did I do today? I mean, I did a lot, but it's a lot of like little things.
Right. So I like that you made that connection that you're the person responsible for getting them to a lot of other places. So, and then you mentioned the assessments. The assessments reminds me of teaching again. But it sounds also like there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily know what's going to happen and how you have to deal with them. So you have these prescribed things that you have to do, assessments and getting people where they have to go. But then unexpected things happen and you have to be ready to deal with those as well.
Yeah, like we have set assessments and things in place, but a lot of times it doesn't go so easy like that.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of times it just, like the woman I was talking about earlier, like at the end of the day, like 4:30, a couple days a week, I just go and we talk. So that wasn't necessarily like a specific thing that I was assigned to do, but it helps. So I try to do that. I try to do my regular job and then try to go visit people.
That sounds great. I wish I had more time to visit students.
Yeah.
Any other questions? You can just say them from your seat. You don't have to come up. Anyone else? Sarah, do you have any, I know I had talked to you about screen sharing, if there was any forms or anything that they could see. I know they'd have to be blank. I didn't know if there's anything formal that they could see, like the assessment.
I don't know if I can do the screen sharing, but I have it. I don't know if I can just like hold it up. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, you can do that. That would be good.
9 questions. Yeah. So it's in the past 2 weeks that you had little interest in doing things. It's never, or it's several days, which is 2 to 6 days, half the days, or nearly every day. And then if they get over 10, we let the nursing department know, and then they have to do some kind of intervention, because over 10 can signify depression, which isn't always the case. Sometimes people are just sick. So if you're sick, you're not feeling good, you're not eating well. So we just try to see what's really going on. But we rely a lot on what the staff say as well, because a resident might say no to everything, but then say something to an aide, which that happened this week a couple times. We had to send somebody out to the hospital. It happens.
Yeah. Sarah, is there anything else you'd like to share with them before you go?
I guess just if you were thinking about possibly doing social work, I guess looking into it, because there's just so much you can do. Like, I work at a nursing home, but when I was in grad school, every classmate was doing a different thing. Some people worked with kids in foster care, adoption. Some people work with people with eating disorders or mental illness or drug abuse. People work with adults, teenagers, kids. So everybody was completely different. So if you're thinking about,
since it's a diverse field, there's a lot of opportunity. It's a pretty
yeah.
industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you get a license, you can do a lot with a license. If you get your master's degree and take another test, which I haven't done yet, you could be a therapist. So there's a lot you can do.
Excellent. Sarah, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. We learned a lot. Can we please thank Sarah with a round of applause? All right. And I just want to thank you for being in a service industry. I can hear all the heart you have for helping people, and it helps broaden that community when we love all parts of our community. So thank you. Have a great day, Sarah.
Thank you.
I know, I was talking off screen. Bye.
Bye.